back to the vlog channel. In today's video, we're going to be checking out my electric bike, and then we're actually going to be taking it on a little fishing adventure out here, okay? You pick it up and I'm putting down. We're going fishing today, and we're riding an electric bicycle to go do it. Now let's get started. First thing, I got to kind of show you the electric bicycle. Now, if you don't know what an electric bicycle is, it's a bicycle which functions just like a normal bicycle. It's got gears back here. Check it out. It's got like a bunch of gears, I guess. And then it's got a pedal. Pretty understandable. Pretty normal. When you hop on the bicycle and you pedal, you move. Nothing too crazy. You can come up here and you can change the gears. You're not supposed to change the gears if you're not moving, but oopsie doopsie. But what makes this bicycle different is that it's electric. I don't know if you can see that big old thing right there. That's actually the battery. Come up here and you can turn it on. And it also has this little power button. So it's literally a bicycle, so that I can ride it like normal. But if I want to, I press this trigger and I ain't even gotta do nothing. And I tell you, man, this thing gets gone. To be a little bicycle, this thing's pretty quick. Yeah, let's take this thing up in the field. My favorite thing about it, well, one, it's a bicycle and it's a little fun to ride, but it can also get pretty quick. But I mean, it's usually quiet. I can get that, if I can get that thing stop rattling. I don't know what it is. I think I ran over a stick the wrong way and bent something. But if I can get whatever that is, stop rattling, this thing's silent. And there's also something up in the front on the wheel thing that's now it's scratching. So I've had this thing for like a few months, since back in the fall, so about 6 months actually. I'm just be honest, guys, I about wore this thing out. I drive it anywhere and everywhere. Oh, and oh gosh. Oh. Well, there you go. I done wrecked it. I don't even know how I wrecked it, dude. I'm not even doing anything crazy. I'm just riding. And that's what wrecked it. So yeah, pretty much that's the electric bicycle. I think it's really cool. I like it and everything. Downside to it being a bicycle, you do sit right on top of it, and if the ground's wet, it kind of like throws water in your face, which I think is why I wrecked, because I couldn't actually see. Another bad thing, it only has 2 wheels, so it can like fall over and stuff. And if you're not moving, then it falls over. I'd rather have an electric 4-wheeler, but this is kind of like the best thing I have right now, so that's what we're gonna be rocking with. Let's hop on it again and let's see if we can hit some trails right here. Now, if I hit some trails, I'm just gonna let you know, I may or may not be able to finish the video in a hospital. I don't know, man. It's a bicycle. We're going off-road, so let's just see what we can do. I've hit trails with it before, and I like it, but I can't say that I've not wrecked it a lot. It's kind of like a dirt bike, but it definitely has a lot less power than a dirt bike. But it's also a whole lot quieter than a dirt bike. And I don't know about you, but I like it being quiet. One, because it doesn't like bust my eardrums and stuff when I'm riding it. But also, you can actually ride around in the woods pretty quietly. Like right now, listen. Yeah, you may hear some sticks breaking or the crunching of leaves and stuff. But let's say this, if you are riding through here and you are breaking some sticks and leaves, if there's a deer on the other side of this little holler, he's either not going to hear you because those sounds don't travel that much, or he's not going to think much of it. Whereas if you have like a dirt bike where it's bro, that sound echoes pretty rough. You ain't really sneaking up on anything with that. An example of sneaking up on things, I cannot tell you how many times I've snuck up on my uncle's dog with this thing, get right on top of him, and then he just goes crazy, and he hates me now, but he's just going to deal with it. But also, I was riding it up on the top of a ridge the other day, and it was hard to get it up there, which is one downside to this thing. It can't really go up hills. One, because it doesn't have a ton of power. Two, because you can't balance it going up straight up a hill. But once I finally got it up there, I was riding it on the ridge, and that's whenever I actually drove right up on a flock of turkeys. I'm talking drove up within 20 yards of them, me right on top of them, and then I saw them, I just stopped, and they still didn't even know I was there. They didn't hear me coming, didn't see me coming, and I mean, if I had a shotgun on my back, I could have literally pulled it out and busted him right there. I don't know, that might be poaching, but basically what I'm saying is I got right on top of a turkey, multiple turkeys, and they did not even hear me coming. You can't hardly do that with anything. You can barely do that walking. So now we're going to take this thing down this hill. Now my tires are wet, and yep, I don't know. This is a super steep hill, so there's a good chance I may wreck it right here. It does have front and back brakes, which probably isn't anything crazy. I'm just going to ease it down the hill. It's a whole lot easier to go downhill than it is to go uphill. Oh, now I'm in the rut. Now I'm in the rut. Oh, I'm in the rut. Oh, gosh. Oh, I'm in the rut. Just trying not to. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. I don't know if I like it anymore. I liked it. I was like, hey, I like that bicycle. I'm gonna go do a video on it. Yeah, I don't know if I like this thing no more. It just threw me off of it. Dude, it's not in a crazy hill. It's just a little hill. Why you gotta do that? About break my leg, buddy. That's the easy part of the hill. We still got a ton of crazy stuff to go down. And by golly, we ain't even been fishing yet. I did upgrade the seat, by the way. So let's try this again. Both brakes engaged. We just have to, I don't know, not get in the ditch again. But listen how quiet I can just drive on this stuff, especially these pine needles. I mean, it's not silent, but you could get close to some animals with this thing. And you might get as close as you'd ever need to be. I'm not saying this is the best thing in the world, but it's pretty quiet. I tell you what I want. I want an electric four-wheeler. That way I can still have the stability of four wheels and the power of a four-wheeler, but still be quiet with electric. Because listen, just listen. When you're running electric, the only sound that there is your wheels hitting the ground. That's pretty much the only noise there is. Now, if it's leaves and sticks, it's a little louder. But if you're riding on dirt, or if you're riding on even some kind of small road or something, it's quiet, man. Like, look at this trail. This is a textbook trail. It's like a just normal four-wheeler trail. On the two tire paths, it's kind of sandy or whatever. I'm gonna ride in there. I'm actually get going. I'm gonna hit some speed right here. We can travel quick too. Oh, ow, ow. See, that's what I don't like about being on two wheels. I hit a little stump that threw me off. Well, like, yeah, I mean, hey. Can y'all hear that? Listen. My front tire's doing something wicked up there. It's scratching. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. I've tried to figure it out. It just makes noises now. You know, this started off as a really cool video about the electric bike. Now it's kind of going downhill fast, in my opinion about it. It's kind of like going down as we speak. So maybe an electric bike's not really the move. Maybe it's not for hill country, because that's where I'm at. Well, I'm in a bunch of mountains. But in this field, you got decently flat ground. I can move pretty quick. Top speed's like 25 or 30, so that's pretty quick. But my little cruising speed's right there about 10 miles an hour. Well, I can creep around and stop and look and listen and stuff. Pretty solid little outfit. It's got its strengths, but it definitely has its weaknesses. I think the biggest weakness is that it's just on two wheels. You can only do so much on two wheels. But anyways, we're going fishing. So let me head back home real quick and we'll get our fishing stuff. And it's gonna be kind of cool since we don't really have any way to carry anything. We're gonna have to pull out the KG fishing backpack and pack everything in it because we're on a bicycle. Oh, hey Steve, how you doing? What are you doing, buddy? What do you think about my bicycle? Good talk. When you get this thing on flat ground or blacktop, I mean, I'm cruising 15 miles an hour uphill right now, so it's pretty quiet, pretty small. It can fit a lot of places other things can't. Let me ride it on home, then we'll get our fishing stuff and we'll go fishing. Pretty good though. Not bad. I'm not the biggest bike rider in the entire world, but I will say I drive this 20 times more than I drive the Defender, especially close to home. But if I'm going anywhere far from home, obviously, you know, I'm not hopping on a bicycle because the top speed's like 25 or 30 and you can't really go up hills and the battery life isn't amazing. So that's kind of its biggest setback. All right. Okay, let's pick out some fishing stuff. Here is the fishing backpack. We have these on the website right now, so if you like what you see, you know where to get it. I'm gonna set that right there as our little base. As for attaching a fishing pole to it, shouldn't be too bad. I'm actually gonna grab this fishing pole right here because it is a two-piece and it can get a lot shorter. Right now we got a little, some kind of walking bait on there. I'm gonna take that off, switch that out. I don't really wanna use that. What do I wanna use? Honestly, ooh, I dropped the hook. That ain't good. What I want to use is this right here. You might be able to see it, you might not. It's really simple. It's just a hook. I want to use this in a green worm. That's it. Never done this before. Should be pretty effective. I tell you what, that's the plan. A little bitty hook, and I'm just gonna wacky rig these little random green worm. I'll show you more whenever I get down to the pond, but that's what I'm gonna be using. Shouldn't be hard, shouldn't be hard. Here is our backpack. We just gotta figure out a way to figure out the rod. I don't know if we have a perfect solution, but a solution we can definitely come up with. So, just gonna come in here. I think my rod can maybe sit right down in that. I think so. Probably fit pretty all right. Not perfect, but not bad. Set that right in there. I'm gonna get me a little bungee cord. We're gonna use this handle as a little thing to help us put this all together. Here we go. It's not perfect. It's not the most amazing thing in the entire world, but it's definitely gonna hold my fishing pole while I drive down to the pond. So I'm gonna throw this baby on my back. We heading out. Here we go. We're going fishing on a bicycle. Whoop whoop. Mountain pond hopping on a bicycle. This will either go really good or really bad. We don't know yet. Ain't never done this before. Alright, so we're almost to the pond. This is the pond dam. And this thing can't really get up the hill. And so that's why it's about you get to use it once a blue moon if you actually want to do something cool. Man, this video was supposed to be talking about the bicycle, but turns out it ain't as good as I thought it was. Can't hardly go nowhere. Buddy, I live in Kentucky. We ain't got flat land here. Not in my part. So far, this thing's only about half good at flat land, and we ain't got much of it. Maybe it just ain't the tool for me. I don't know. Okay, now it's time to start fishing. Let's do this. Crack off this backpack. Let's see what we got. Now, our target species is gonna be bass. Nothing crazy. Pull it out. We're good to go. Pull off one worm, and we're gonna be fishing here in about 0 minutes. There we go. There we go. Last thing, wacky rig our hook. This is just a really basic hook, really basic worm, and we're gonna toss it around, shake it around, and something's gonna eat it. Guaranteed. Almost. All right, boys. We've arrived at the pond. I got all kinds of thick stuff behind me, so it looks like we're doing underhand casts only. We can only flip this thing. We just don't have the room to actually cast. One thing you're going to do if you're going to be backwoods pond hopping, you're going to have to learn how to cast about like this. But if you can cast like that, you can go most of the places you actually need to. Now, our strategy, very simple. There we go. We done got one. We had one. It took our bait 10 feet to the left. Flip it in there again. A little bit further. There's a tree over there. Shouldn't take long if we already got a bite on the first cast. I just throw that bait in there. I'm going to keep my line semi-slag so I can see a good bow in it. I can watch. There we go. Got one. There we go. We got a fish. We want to watch our line with a wacky worm, and you want to watch it to jerk, and you also want to watch it to see if you can feel it. We didn't even have to let him go. He done it himself. We'll take it. Besides that, a wacky worm is probably like the most effective bait in the entire world because every size fish eats it. You saw that one. He was maybe 4.5 inches, but you can also catch one 14.5 pounds if it sees it and it wants to eat it. So toss it in there. I'm just going to watch it. I'm just going to let it sink for about 10 seconds. Just letting it sink there. Letting it sit there. And there we go. Got another one. Dude, I'm telling you, man. They like this worm. It's the most, it's not scary. It's real simple. If they want to eat, here's food. That easy, man. 2 casts, 2 fish. What'd I tell you, man? Hooked him right there on top of the mouth. Perfect. We just take the hook out. Watch this. We let him go. And that's it. It's just a worm. It's just a worm hooked right through the middle. Any brand of worm will work. Does not matter. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You just take your bait. You throw it where you want a fish to be, and then let it sink for like 10 seconds. If nothing touches it, twitch it, twitch it, twitch it, twitch it, and let it sit for 10 more seconds. It's pretty easy strat, man. This is probably the most effective fishing thing, especially for ponds, probably ever. That's why I use it. There we go. We got another one, boys. That's 3 fish, 3 casts. This thing got off, but that's okay. That's okay. No big deal. No big deal. We're going to toss it in. Let it sink for about 10 seconds. Nothing hits it. Cool. Reel up her slack a little bit. Pop, 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 pop. Maybe another one. Pop, 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 pop. Now let it sink again. Let it sink 10 seconds. Something will eat it. Something will eat it eventually. And if not, hey, maybe the fish just ain't biting. That's okay too. Perfect cast. Perfect cast. There's gonna be something hit it. There's gonna be something hit it right there. Just letting it sink. And as it sinks, it's doing this right here. Nothing hit it. What am I doing? Popping it. Pop, 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 pop. Now let it sink. Let it sink. Oh, that's a bad cast. And there we go. We're in a tree. Just like that. In a tree, son. Tree pounder. Biggin. There he is. He's in a tree. Now, either I can get to that tree or I can't. That one's hanging out of the water. I can't get to it. I'm going to just shake it. And I might break off. I might not. And there we go. I broke off. And that's okay. It was a quick day of fishing. Basically 3 fish and like 5 casts. And we got to ride an e-bike. I guess now we drive back home. Not bad, not bad. Now, the good thing about having a whole fishing backpack is that I have 1,200 different lures in here and a bunch of different hooks. But for me today, I think, you know, hey, I'm just gonna quit while I'm ahead, man. That's a lot of fish for 5 minutes. I want y'all to comment below, what do you think about the electric bike? And should we use it more often to come out here and go fishing? Click right here for the $50 Walmart fishing challenge in Florida. Or right over here if you want to learn how not to catch a chicken.